Hey there, Kevin Cortez here. And when I thought about what did I want to say about why I'm on YouTube, I thought about a story that kind of summed up my heart in the matter. And it happened a while back when I was neck deep in the, the Christian subculture and, pastoring a church and all my friends were Christians and navigating all that world. And my favorite place to speak was down in Los Angeles. And once a year, I'd go down there and I'd speak to a group of people at a facility called the Dream Center. And at the Dream Center, there were literally hundreds and hundreds of outreach programs. And one of their main programs was a residential school where 2, 300 people would come together and they would live for 1 year. It was like a rehabilitation center, and it was very impressive, and I loved going down there during the day and just hanging out with everybody and talking, and on Tuesday evenings, the men and women, they would come together for a chapel service, and the leadership would speak to them, and occasionally they'd bring in a speaker, and I would go down, once a year, and it was just a phenomenal experience, and but the time that sticks out most was a time where I went down there, and then I was waiting in the hotel lobby to be picked up by Mike and Vilma, the tremendous leaders of the discipleship group, and we walk out to the car, and I get in the back seat, and in the back seat, there's a real put together young lady, and, I just thought she was part of the staff, and so started chit-chatting and whatnot, asking her how she liked Los Angeles, and then she hands me this bag, and in it, there's, like, a little note to me, and so I pull out the note, and then in the bag is a teddy bear. And I was a little bit confused, and I started to read the note, and this is what the note said. "My name is Christina, and I wanted to give you my bear." Actually, it's the bear that I made for my 2-year-old son, Malachi, at the Build-A-Bear factory for his birthday as a belated gift. My son means a lot to me, and I haven't seen him since he was 8 months old, but I talk to him when he's around my mom. Currently, my parents have guardianship of him, and they live in Hawaii. But I love my son dearly, and I carry his picture with me in my notebook. So I've been wanting to send him this bear, and his name, that is the bear's name, is Matthias. Honestly, it's hard for me to give you this bear, but I know it's for a reason. Oh, yeah. And he talks. He says, "I love you. I love you." And to me, that represents God telling me that. For my son, it was to represent how much I love him. God bless you. Sincerely, Christina. And I was just blown away. I'm like, What is this? What is this?" And she shared with me that previously, when I'd come down, there were some things that I said that really encouraged her to step out there and, you know, move forward in her walk with God. And if I were to tell you, the road she had been on, and it's super intense because in that particular program, I mean, there's drug addicts, there's gang members, there's prostitutes, there's pimps, it's just crazy. And I thought, wow, if what I said and encouraged someone to this extent, I mean, that could only be God. So as I was wondering, like, why go on YouTube? There's some other reasons, but the main one was I'm just want to add my voice to the conversation because right now, masses of believers are just simply walking away from the faith. Barna indicates in one of their studies that in the year 2000, over half of Americans were practicing Christians. And 20 years later, in 2020, they found out that only 1 in 4 were participating and practicing in their faith. That's a huge decline. And it's my opinion, and I personally believe it to be so. And that is Christians are misreading culture. They're trying to walk out their faith in really a world that no longer exists. And if you wanna really look at what's happening in culture, it's said to listen to what the comedians are saying. many people now look at comedians not just for them to make fun of the world, but to make sense of it. They're no longer just joke tellers, they're truth tellers and these public intellectuals that people are looking to for guidance to get through the cultural debates, if you will. And to me, it's just crazy. And one of those comedians that I've particularly been connected to for many years is Joe Rogan. I follow the UFC and MMA and his background. He was a karate guy in competition when he was younger, and I was a karate guy in competition also when I was younger, not to the level he was, but, you know, uh, I was doing all the karate circuits, and then later he discovered Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and his Brazilian jiu-jitsu instructor is my Brazilian jiu-jitsu instructor's younger brother. And so one day across my social media feed, uh, was a clip of him talking about Christianity. And I don't know too much about his content, although I know enough to where he's kind of coming from, his worldview and whatnot. But he made it clear what he thought about Christianity. And it was a 6 minute, 46-second rant and about Christianity, and he was just mocking Christianity and Catholicism, and as I listened to it, I didn't think too much about it, but, uh, I understood why he was saying the things he was, but then I started thinking, "Wait a minute, per episode, he has over 11 million people listening to him," and to put that in context, if you were to put CNN and MSNBC together, and then add Fox News to that, and all the cable primetime news, network hosts, their audience, and then times that audience by 4, you're still not reaching as many people as Joe Rogan does, and so it became like this splinter in my mind. I mean, I went to bed thinking about it. I woke up thinking about how would I respond, in a conversation with Joe Rogan when he's talking like this about my faith, and really, could I explain myself? And, pretty soon when I was working out, I'm thinking about it. And when I'm mowing the yard, I mean, you get the picture. And so the only thing that seemed to kind of give me a little ease was going all the way back to Bible college days, 35, 40 years ago, and pulling out some of those books and open them back up. And I saw where I highlighted before, but now I'm highlighting other things and I'm writing in the margins and I'm journaling and I'm ordering other books and really just to get myself like, how would I respond? And then one day I thought, wow, this is a book. Everything I have laid out is a book. So uh, what I did then is go ahead and produce the book, and then so at the end of each chapter, I put, for additional content, just scan this QR code, and it would go to a page, and what I've done is create videos that go along with each chapter, and so that's sort of how the YouTube channel came about. And so it's just me adding my voice to the conversation and I'm no big shot Christian influencer by any means and nor do I want to be. And I'm not a theologian and I'm not a Bible scholar or an apologist. I'm not a pastor, although I did pastor for over 10 years out in California. And believe me, being senior pastor in California does put to test your faith, I'll put it that way. And, you know, I went to Bible college, I tell people so that I could tell you, you don't have to. And, having like I have a degree in practical theology, it means nothing in the real world, okay? I learned more just being around believers and great men and women of God and seeing how they interacted amongst themselves and amongst those outside the faith. And so really that's what this channel is. If you want more information about me, I'll provide a link in the description about my testimony. And there I share all the areas that Jesus has touched my life over the last 40 years, which has been every area. And I almost titled that video "How I Survived the Charismatic Christian Circus," but that's not very nice to say things like that. But I'm still here. Again, thank you for checking out my YouTube channel. I'm just going to be providing Christian content, some discipleship resources. And if you want to connect with me on a more personal level, go over and check out Patreon. There, I've included some exclusive content and access to our community where, on Discord, we can talk back and forth and ask questions and, all that good stuff. So, want to have a kind of a more of a private place to get together. So, go check that out and avail yourself to it if you want. And it just seems strange to me, and it always has, to be put in a position where I'm talking about what I think God says about stuff. It's just weird, but yet here we are. So go check out those resources, and I hope to connect with you soon. And until then, God bless you.